Welcome to the Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting this beautiful day, the 9th of October. Prior to starting every morning, we usually invite local clergy to come in and lead us in prayer. This morning was no exception. Pastor Jason Bowman was going to be here from the Solid Rock Church, but he is called ahead and said that he is stuck in traffic and whatever road he's on, I don't think he said it was dead stop. So if you are so inclined to participate, please bow your heads and I'll do the honors. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've made, and we thank you for the opportunity to gather as this Clermont County Board of Commissioners, concerned citizens, and those who are in attendance today. We live in a free country, and this is a wonderful thing to be able to do. We thank you for the blessing of being able to do that. Lord, we just ask now, before we start this meeting, that you be with us in spirit here, that the wisdom of Solomon be upon those who are in attendance, that we might make decisions that make Clermont County a better place to live, work, and raise a family. We ask you to watch over those who are in the uniform of the armed services of the United States today, here and abroad. We ask you to be with those in the Clermont County Sheriff's Office, all law enforcement officers, first responders, and firefighters here throughout our county. We know that they risk their lives for us to ensure that we have a safe place to live. We ask you to be with those who are ill and afflicted, unable to be at this meeting. We ask that you heal them, that they may join us at a later date. We ask all these things in your son's precious name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Corcoran, will you lead us in that pledge of allegiance?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now call this meeting to order, and we will start right off with the agenda. Item number B is the approval of regular session minutes from October the 2nd, 2024. Board, I know you've had the opportunity to review these minutes. Do I have a motion for approving the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number C is a proclamation for designation of October 2024 as Disability Employment Awareness Month in Clermont County. I understand we have a few people that are going to accept this proclamation. I'll be glad to read it for you. Dan, you can bring up to the podium, whoever you'd like.
This is Marina Bowen. So
Hi, Marina. I'll read something for you first, and then you can. Okay. Here's what's been prepared. A proclamation, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, October 2024. Whereas workplaces welcoming the talents of all people, including people with disabilities, are a critical part of our efforts to build an inclusive community. Whereas the United States economy is supported by a workforce that is notable for its diversity. And whereas ensuring all Americans, including those with disabilities, have the opportunity to reach their full potential and will strengthen and maintain the businesses in Clermont County. Whereas the United States no longer estimates the abilities of Americans with disabilities due to the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990. Whereas our community strives to raise awareness about disabilities and employment issues and celebrates the many and varied contributions of people with disabilities. And whereas we welcome Ohio's Employment First Initiative philosophy, and whereas employment is the key economic security for Americans, it is up to all of us, county and community leaders, employers, people with disabilities, and their community to break down attitudinal barriers and open business doors to let employees with disabilities in. And whereas we must all think ability and not disability and encourage others to do the same. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that we, Clermont County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Disability Employment Awareness Month in Clermont County, Ohio. This year's national theme is Advancing Access and Equity. We encourage the community to celebrate this theme and call upon all Clermont County citizens and government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses and schools to reaffirm our determination to create equal employment opportunities for people with disabilities. And it's signed by myself, President of the Board of Commissioners, Clark Corcoran, the Vice President, and Bonnie Batchelor, member. Please accept this proclamation on behalf of the Clermont County Commissioners for Disabilities Month. And the podium is yours.
Okay.
Maybe pour Mike down.
Let's make sure.
I've been at McDonald's for 5 years. I started training to work in a restaurant at a high school. I was in the Spire program for 2 years. At McDonald's, I do fries, hash browns, sweep the floors, make drinks, curbside service, stock and mop. Love to make fries. The McDonald's team is very nice. Thank you for opportunity.
Very nice.
Amen.
Step up there real quick. Thanks. Oop, I just dropped my paper. I got it. Thanks, Marina. We really appreciate you accepting the proclamation. I'm Dan Aki. I'm the superintendent of the Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities. So thankful to have Marina's family with us today. So complimentary of everything in terms of the services received and the things in terms of helping her establish the skills needed to do the work over at McDonald's. I want to thank Amber Ramsey. So she is our program manager in the program, Lisa Davis with us as well. So I want to thank the commissioners for this recognition every year. It's much appreciated. Every year it just only enhances the importance of the work that goes on in this realm, especially with workforce issues across industries. It means so much that, folks like Marina get a chance to do the things that she does. She works at the Bauer Road store. If you want to check out the fries there, I'm sure they're the best. So again, we want to thank you for this opportunity this morning. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
We'd love to get a picture with all of you, including Marina's family. You bet. Come on up.
Come on. Do we want to stay up here?
Right up there.
Going down?
I don't know.
Yeah, we probably need to.
Stay up.
Yep, we'll stay up.
Look at them
Well, you
run.
brought the whole family
Yeah, get
today.
them all up here.
Good. Lisa, you guys coming up? Come on up. Okay. Dan, get in there. Aw.
Uh-oh.
I think she's loved. I think she's really
I think
loved.
so, yeah.
This is wonderful.
I'm blocking.
No, you're fine. Oh, gosh, that's great. Half step it, will you?
All right, I think I got it. And we'll go in big smile. 3, 2, 1, and one more. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks for
everybody,
being
for
here
coming
this
in
morning.
with her today.
That was awesome.
Marina, thank you for coming. Hey, we'll
Thank
see
you.
you. We'll see you
Thanks for
up
being
there
here.
getting, we'll be there getting fries.
Saturday morning.
Saturday mornings?
Okay.
Okay, she's on.
She's there during the week too, but Saturday morning's the best.
Oh, good, thanks.
We will move to our next item, which is item number D, public participation. Prior to starting public participation, we've reached the public participation section of the agenda. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address the board during this time, the board won't answer questions nor engage in debate. No member of the public can comment about a matter that is not within the purview of the Clermont Commissioner's responsibilities. The commissioners are not expected to comment on matters brought to the board during this time. Each speaker will speak once and shall be recognized by the board president before speaking. In accordance with the board's rules, your comments will be limited to 5 minutes. Do we have anyone that would like to address the board? Go ahead. Please let us know your name. Yeah, go to the podium. Let us know your name and your address for the
My name is
record.
Dennis Burnett, 2152 Union Chapel Road, Batavia, Ohio, 45103.
Go ahead.
I've had some problems with the building department. I submitted a letter. Did we get that letter Did the commission get the letter from myself? We did?
Yes.
You did? Okay, thank you. I listed my property. I've got a neighbor that's stolen trees. He put a shed on my property. He's done all kind of things. He's a voyeur. He's been a proven liar in court. And he's got the building department come after me for, he caused a swamp area on my property with the shed and landscaping and everything. And then I brought in just enough dirt to get rid of the wet area. And then he filed a claim against me with the building department, and they came after me full force. They filed a lawsuit against me and everything. And every time they filed something against me, I proved them wrong. They said I brought in 100 cubic yards of dirt. No. Said I did this. Everything they accused me of, I proved them wrong. And it seems like they're unfairly going after me and working for my neighbor. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I've proven I had to hire a lawyer, and they finally came out. Can't remember his name.
One of our sheriffs came
The
out.
director of the George. I can't remember his name. I didn't bring my paperwork with me.
Mr.
Bruce.
Bruce
Bruce
Grace.
Crace, thank you, sir. Bruce Crace, he was going to come out to my house over a year ago, and he agreed that he would to come out and see the situation, and then he never came out. And this is personal. I labeled him a liar because he said he was going to come out and take care of the situation, and he never did. And there's also another guy named Sean Harmon. He's caused many problems. He used to be an inspector, and he failed my building inspection, my permit for my home twice after discussing it with him. And then at the time I went to Bruce Crates, and they passed it without any other submissions. So they're just taking this stuff personal. Sean Harmon, when he was coming out to inspect my garage, he didn't do his job, and he caused problems. And then I told the department I didn't want him back on my property anymore. And so they're taking this stuff personal, and they're coming after me, and I haven't done anything wrong. As I put in the letter, I've worked with the building department for over 40 years, never had any problems. I built 16 homes in Clermont County under my own name, never had any problems with anybody. And now this has gotten personal, and I just want them off my back. I haven't done anything wrong. Seems like they're unfairly coming after me and unfairly taking my neighbor's side in the situation. I just filed a couple complaints. My neighbor hasn't gotten a permit for his deck, built over 7 years ago, built a retaining wall, brought a shed in, put electric in the shed, no permits for anything. And I don't understand why the building department is taking his side.
And your address is?
2152 Union Chapel Road, Batavia, Ohio, 45103. And then, like I said, it's just not right. I haven't done anything wrong. I've proven myself. I've had to get a lawyer, spent a lot of time and money. I've proven that my neighbor is a liar and a thief and everything, and there's not much more I can do. Like I said, I've had to spend, I've got 2 young children. I have to actually keep them away from my neighbor. My neighbor's a voyeur. He's admitted to having over 7 cameras in his yard. He's got a couple of them pointed at my direction in my yard. He's used pictures of me on my tractor in my yard to try and come against me in court. I mean, doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I haven't done anything wrong, and I don't understand why the building department would file suit against me. And this came with some pretty hefty penalties. They were going to charge me $500 a day plus their all their expenses, court. And when they gave it to the county prosecutor, I don't believe the county prosecutor had all the information, because what they accused me of is not responding to the accusations, and I did every time. And my lawyer was there, and he made the same thing. My neighbor cannot prove any damages. I just don't understand the whole situation.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming in today.
All right, I've got 10 seconds. Are you guys going to discuss this at a later date, or
Well,
Mhm.
right now, or?
We'll ask Mr. Eigel, would you please
I
look
will do
into it? And he manages those departments, and we'll have him look into it for you, sir.
Is there any pending litigation going on right now?
Not right. Well, lawsuit that they filed against me, they dismissed it.
Okay.
Because they had nothing, but they dismissed it without prejudice, means they can refile it.
Okay,
And I don't need that hanging over my head.
okay, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Tom, and you'll follow up?
I will.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Mr. Hicks?
Well, I'm Chris Hicks from 444 Woodward Court. I'm glad to be able to speak here today. I do appreciate too that you interacted with the gentleman before me after you said that you wouldn't interact with anybody. I noticed that first you were kind of confused when he asked if you got his letter, and you're all sitting there like you're not allowed to answer because you just said you won't answer anybody. That's ridiculous. The policies are ridiculous. So I want to hit on 5 things real quick. We're all relating to the animal shelter. I did some research on some of the representations made by Ms. Livesey last week relating to the prior operator, and I believe that they were false, exaggerated, and or put the prior operator in a false light. I'm going to do more digging on that to come out with it, but I don't think that demonizing the prior operator is a solution for any of your problems today. And in fact, I think part of it is because you can no longer make the argument that you did it to save money. So now you have to make the argument that you did it because the prior operator was somehow running a rat-infested shithole that you needed to intervene on. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, Ms. Batchelors, I think you know, I got a message from somebody who's close to Joe Dills saying that he had talked with you after the meeting last week and that there was definitely going to be putting the shelter out to bid. The person said Joe Dills not only told him this, that he could be shared with the community. I went back to Joe Dills. He never denied it. He lawyered up. He actually asked me if I would quit asking questions about 2 things I've been asking questions about in Union Township, Fernando Cruz's real estate deals and the DORA, that he would be transparent with me on it, which was ridiculous. But hopefully later in the meeting today, you can address that to either deny that that's true or say that it's true, that you're going to put the shelter out for bid. I think everybody would welcome, a lot of people would welcome that would take place. The third thing is I'm going to start working on a card plan to have an alternative slate card at the polling locations for people who are interested in cleaning up Republican politics in Clermont County. Realistically, I think you 2 guys are going to win. I don't think there's any way you wouldn't win in this county, that the current ratio, but it can send a message by undervoting. So this is draft 2 of a card that will be available. There will be a event if people want to get behind it on November 2nd from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Miami Township Library, where people can pick up these cards and get assigned a polling location to tell them to leave it blank for Bachelor and Painter on their ballots to send a message about needing to fix and reform the shelter. The fourth thing that I wanted to hit on is, by the way, the meeting's in Miami Township Library, Room B, November 2nd, 1 to 4 p.m. The fourth thing I wanted to hit on is, you guys probably know, Bill Thomas, Louisa McQueen, and I do a weekly political podcast. We have one at 8:30 tonight. I would like to invite one of you commissioners to join us on that podcast to take questions about the animal shelter. Will any of you do that? Ms. Corcoran, will you join us on a live podcast tonight? Mr. Painter, will you join us on a live podcast tonight?
No.
Ms. Batchelor, will you join us on a live podcast
No, I
tonight?
can't.
Why not? You can't?
No, I can't.
Okay, so you guys name the time and a place that you'd be willing to do something like that. You run on platforms that you're going to engage the community and be with the community, but you refuse to take open-ended questions in public forums. You like to be sitting up there and you like to have control. The fifth and final thing is, Mr. Painter, I've heard you criticize people, including volunteers who have not been at the shelter recently, you know, touting that you've been there. You tell people, when's the last time you were there?
Last Sunday.
Well, I'm not, that was a,
thought
I
you
was
were-
actually, okay, last Sunday. So what I would like to do is, since you keep throwing out to people that they should be there, I brought a small handheld camera in my car, and I would like with Ms. Livesey or somebody else to, right after this meeting or right after this public participation, whenever you want, escorted to allow me to go over there and film all access any place I want in the shelter. Can I do that? After this meeting, go over to the shelter with Ms. Livesey. You can bring 5 deputies if you want to be able to restrain me if necessary, but to have all access to the shelter and film whatever I want. Can I do that?
Who are you asking?
You guys.
Well, this board will take it under advisement, and we'll let you know that.
When will you take it under advisement? I got 50 seconds left. Why don't you? This is not a Ms. Livesey, can I come over with you after the this meeting or when you're done here and have all access, you tell people that they should go see it for themselves. I'm asking to go see it for myself and to film it and be able to put it online so people can see it. Supposedly it's early in the morning. The inmates should have just cleaned the place up, so it should be in pretty good order.
I'm sure it is in good order.
So so that's a yes, I can go do it right
It
after this
wasn't a
meeting?
yes or a no.
So this tells you what's wrong. The bullshit, the absolute bullshit of these people sitting up here claiming that they're public servants. He challenges people on when were the last time you were there. I asked, can I go there right after this meeting and film and look at the bullshit? November 2nd, Miami Township Library, Room B, for people interested in picking up cards to hand out to say, don't mark your ballots for these two people. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in public participation? State your name and address for the record.
Hi, Stephanie Freeborn, 2517 State Route 222, New Richmond. Illness and disease like Giardia, coccidia, other GI-related diseases, and respiratory disease have been and are rampant at the animal shelter due to the inhumane conditions of animals spending the vast majority of each day living in their own feces and urine, and the animals have been suffering greatly from that. This is attested to by over 40 shelter volunteers, and this rampant illness and disease can be evidenced in shelter medical records. With the recent arrival of 38 more dogs to the shelter through a hoarding case, and these dogs' certain likelihood of developing this rampant illness and disease, I have directly called on the Clermont County Sheriff to involve the Clermont County Board of Health to take action to protect the health of these animals. There are a total of 81 dogs that are currently on site at the shelter. You have dangerously inadequate number of staff to care for these 81 dogs, and you only provide that inadequate staff for a grossly inadequate 8 hours a day, which is a major cause of this rampant illness and disease. With only 8 hours a day of staffing, dogs spend about 18 hours of each day living in their own feces and urine. And the inadequate levels of staffing during the 8 hours a day that you actually do provide staffing only compounds the situation. There is absolutely no reason and no excuse that the three of you have not extended shelter staffing hours to 9 p.m. and have not taken action to adequately staff this shelter with kennel techs by either significantly raising the pay rates of the kennel tech positions or by utilizing a temporary staffing agency and offering significantly raised pay rates. Through that, you could have acquired adequate kennel tech staff. You could have staffed the shelter with kennel techs until 9 p.m. in the evening every day, and those things would have reduced the number of hours that animals spend living in their own feces and urine and stopped and prevented this rampant illness and disease at the shelter. You could have done these things a year ago or any time throughout this past year, and you've chosen not to. When an employer has trouble hiring and retaining staff, they raise the pay rate of the position to attract and retain staff. They do not just sit there for an entire year, virtually doing nothing, especially when they are responsible for providing staff to care for live animals. If you want to claim that you haven't had the money to expand staffing hours until 9 p.m. and to significantly raise the pay rate on these kennel tech positions, remember that Dave Painter stated to the news media that the shelter has plenty of money and that they were willing to put forth whatever was necessary. Clearly, you have not been willing to put forth whatever was necessary. And now you've got 81 animals on site at the shelter, virtually no kennel tech staff to care for them. And you do not provide any staff or care at all to these animals in the evenings from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Half of these 81 animals at the shelter have already been suffering from the illness and disease caused by the inhumane conditions that you have created at the shelter. And the other half of these animals who have just come into the shelter are now all going to get sick and suffer from the same illness and disease. The three of you are personally responsible for this. It is disgusting that you have been and are perpetrating this harm to the animals, and that you are willfully causing all of these dogs to suffer this illness and disease, with many of these dogs developing and suffering illness over and over and over again during their time at the shelter. These dogs have already been through horrific things, and then they have to endure the severe misfortune and suffering of ending up at this miserable shelter. Look at the evidence of the rampant illness and disease in the shelter medical records. Think about the fact that the dogs at the shelter spend about 18 hours a day living in their own feces and urine. Clearly, the Board of Health needs to be involved, as these animals at the shelter urgently need protection from you. The community will wait to hear from the Sheriff's Office what action they are going to take in conjunction with the Board of Health to protect the health of these animals. I refer the news media to the Clermont County Sheriff's Office for their comment on when they plan to involve the Board of Health to protect these animals.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close public participation and we will move on with the agenda. Thank you. Board item E, a consent agenda. Consent agenda has been prepared for you. You've had an opportunity to review it. Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda for further consideration?
None.
None? Then I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we'll move to the non-consent agenda. Starts on page 3 with item number 8. Recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 125.2-24 to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $2,320,439.63. As outlined in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated October 9th, 2024, BCC directed prepaid invoices. And the procurement card transaction report is presented by the county auditor on 10/7/2024. And further authorizing the auditor to issue warrants pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 9. Hi, Yvonne.
Morning.
Don Smith, Benefit Plan Coordinator for Clermont County. Is our recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners execute the 2025 participation agreement between Clermont County, Ohio, and the County Employee Benefits Consortium, also known as SEBCO, of Columbus, Ohio, for the administration of the county's medical and prescription drug plan, including claims payments, stop-loss coverage, wellness benefits, and the employee assistance program, effective 1/1 of 25 through 12/31 of 2027. And further to authorize David Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the 3 Anthem summary of plan or benefit documents in compliance with the terms and conditions specified in the agreement.
Board, you've heard the reading item number 9. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Thank
Yes. Thank you. Item number 10.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey, Chris.
Item number 10 is a recommendation to adopt a revised table of organization for the Community and Economic Development Department to add the position of contract manager, classification number 79225, pay range A, as shown in Exhibit A, attached thereto and made part thereof, effective upon, and further to authorize the update of the appropriate internet links and appendices accordingly.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 10. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I will second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Item number 11. Suki, morning.
Morning, Cindy. Morning.
Item number 11 is a recommendation. This is to execute change order 1 to a public improvement minor projects with Cincinnati Lift Truck and Battery out of Mainville, Ohio. This was previously approved by the board on August 7th. This is for the county engineer highway storage racking. The change order represents an increase of $580 for a total adjusted contract price of $99,955. We actually we moved a rack based on the way they were fitting in the facility, so we're adding a little bit additional safety netting.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, thank you. Morning, Lyle. Item number 12.
Item 12 is a recommendation to approve resolution number 126-24, accepting the transfer of ownership, control, and responsibilities of the Village of Batavia water and wastewater utility systems to the county waterworks and wastewater system within the Clermont County Water Resources Department, effective today, October 9th, 2024. So a little bit of history on this. Back in September of 2011, the village and the county entered into a 3-year agreement where we would operate and maintain the village's water and sewer system. Then in 2014, we extended that contract an additional 10 years after we evaluated their system for 3 years. We gave them basically a list as part of this new 10-year agreement of public improvements that were necessary to be made. They had to pay capacity fees for the sewer system. If they did all of those things within the 10-year agreement, part of that 10-year agreement would be that we would accept the village's water and sewer system as our infrastructure, and we'd continue to operate and maintain it, and the village customers would become county customers. So they've completed their list of projects and items that they needed to complete. So we're upholding our end of the agreement, and the village customers will now become county customers. Currently, the village bills monthly, so they will be changed to bi-monthly billing. The residents should expect their first bill as a county water and sewer customer to be in November. So next month, middle of the month, we'll read their meters, and that'll be their first bill. Their bills should go down. I did some calculations and comparisons. Their bill should be reduced by about 47%. But again, they'll see, and they were being billed monthly. Now they'll get their bill every 2 months, and it should be just a little bit more than what they were being paid, or what they were paying monthly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Lyle, just to kind of put a point on that, 2 things. This is kind of how the current system that we have now, really evolved into what we have, right? It started with package systems and subdivisions, and is that
A little bit, yeah. We, when our system was first implemented, like on the wastewater side, the developers would build a package treatment plant for their subdivision, but then immediately donate that to the county, and we would take it over and operate and maintain it.
right?
And eventually we regionalized. We eliminated all those package plants and built big regional plants and conveyed all the wastewater from those.
In this particular system, since it is, for the village, obviously you're taking over, is in the plan, would that in out years become consolidated into another, or would this be another area that may be a larger, treatment system?
So their treatment plant in 2011, when we started the first 3-year agreement, part of that, we eliminated their treatment plant and conveyed that wastewater to the county's regional Middle East Fork wastewater treatment plant. Many years before that, the village used to have their own water treatment system. They actually drew water from the East Fork, the Little Miami River. They had some issues with their permitting, and they eventually abandoned their water treatment plant and began buying water from the county. So we've continued that over the years. I was part of these last couple of agreements that we've had. So again, nothing should really change. We're going to continue to treat their wastewater. We're just going to own their collection system now.
Yep.
And then we'll continue to provide them drinking water, but we'll own their distribution system now.
So the actual bill that the residents will receive will be a reduction by 47%?
Approximately, yes.
So that is a particular incidence where the county can do it cheaper.
Yes. We're a larger utility. We have more customers, so yes.
Correct. And are we up to about 46,000 customers? Is that a close
We're
number?
closer to 50,000.
50,000? Okay.
We have some customers that are sewer only, some that are water only, and then we have customers that are both water and sewer.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran? Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 13.
Commissioner, we have to make a correction to the resolution for item
Yes.
13, but we should have it ready by the end of session if we can hold
Okay.
on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. We will move on from 13 and go to 14.
Item 14. That is a travel, and it's a recommendation to approve the following request for reimbursement of expenses for training and travel according to the policies and procedures of the Board of County Commissioners and/or in compliance with the annual appropriations for calendar year 2024 and any amendments. This would be for David L. Painter for 4 days, for Columbus, Ohio, for the County Commissioners Association of Ohio Winter Conference, estimated not to exceed $1,515.
Board, you've heard the reading on number 14. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation?
No.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Abstain. Item number 15. Hi, Emily.
Good morning, Board. I have a recommendation to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 181-23 for calendar year 24. This is a supplemental appropriation into the 2023 Special Assessment Bond Fund for other expenses for $12,000 and has put budget in place to make the payment.
Board, you heard the reading on number 15. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. So Tom, you want to handle 13 after
Yes, sir.
executive?
When we have one, I'm ready to go, and we'll go ahead and handle it at the end if we can.
Okay, that's fine. So we will move to item G. Any further additions to the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we'll go to item H. I'm requesting a executive session pursuant to 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to first consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or more public employees, and second, to confer with the attorney for the board, with the board concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject pending or imminent court action. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes, we will move into executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. Thank you. We've returned from executive session. There were no actions taken and no decisions made. We will move on with our agenda. Do we have additions to the agenda?
Commissioners, we have 2 settlement agreements to add to the agenda.
Okay. Board, you've heard we have 2 settlement agreements to add to the agenda. One is for a settlement in case number 2023 CVE 01425. And the other one is a settlement agreement with Kroger. Do I have a motion to add these 2 to the agenda?
I'll make the motion to add.
Second?
It's been moved and second. Any conversation? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. So we'll take first one first here. This is for the settle agreement for the release of claims in a common pleas court. Jason?
Thank you. Jason Fountain with the Prosecutor's Office. Commissioners, yes, this first is in relation to pending litigation. Let me know, it's actually 2 cases that have been put together, 2023 CVE 01425 and 2024 CVE 549. So this is a recommendation to approve of the material terms of a settlement agreement and a release of claims by and between the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners and Keith Hayden in Clermont County Common Pleas case numbers as I just described, and to authorize the prosecuting attorney to execute on behalf of the county commissioners any agreement or other court document necessary to effectuate that settlement pursuant to the terms set forth in those agreements.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading of this settlement agreement with the Clermont County Board of Commissioners and Keith L. Hayden. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation?
No.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. And the second one? Jason?
Yes, this second one is in relation to a settlement agreement that was proposed by Kroger Company in relation to the national prescription opiate litigation currently pending. That's case number 17 MD 2804 in the Northern District. So with Kroger's presentation of the settlement agreement, we have a recommendation to affirm, and you would have to opt in to the material terms of the settlement agreement by and between Clermont County and Kroger and its related subsidiaries and entities with respect to that national opiate litigation, captioned as In Re National Prescription Opiate Litigation, case number 17 MD 2804. And we would be authorizing the prosecuting attorney to communicate the board's determination as to that settlement agreement to litigation counsel. So a yes vote would be to opt in to the settlement agreement, and a no vote would be to opt out, not opt into the settlement.
Board, you have heard the resolution that's been offered here. This is a recommendation to opt in to the Kroger settlement. Do I have a motion concerning this?
I'll make a motion to opt out. I will second that motion.
Are we motioning to opt out or motion to accept? Just to be clear, it's everybody's vote.
No, hey, let me clarify that. You should make a motion. We want to accept this motion and then we want to vote on it, yes or no. Is that correct?
So the motion is to opt out. Is that correct?
The motion is to opt out. Okay. So we've had a motion to opt out here.
Okay.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we're opting out.
Thank you. Jason, thank you for all your
Thanks.
time. Appreciate it.
We'll have one other item on the agenda board. I need to rectify a situation here that we approved earlier, and item number 9 that's on your agenda.
Yes.
Gail, do you want to read that?
I'll go ahead and read it as it was. This is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners execute the 2025 participation agreement between Clermont County and the County Employee Benefits Consortium of Ohio, known as SEBCO. And this is for the administration of the county's employee medical prescription drug plan, including claims payments, stop loss insurance, wellness benefits, and the employee assistance plan that would be effective 1/1/2025 through 12/31/27. And we further authorize David Painter to execute the 3 Anthem summary of benefit documents in compliance with the terms and conditions specified in the agreement.
So I would make a motion that we rescind approval of this agreement.
Okay.
Okay. Do it.
You want a second on that one?
Yes.
Okay, I will give you a second.
Okay. It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Abstain.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Okay. And now I'd make a recommendation the Board of County Commissioners execute the 2025 participation agreement between Clermont County, Ohio and the Clermont County Benefits Consortium of Ohio, SEBCO, 209 East Columbus, 43215 for the administration of the county's employee medical and drug prescription, including claims payments, stop loss insurance, wellness benefits, employee assistant plan, effective 1/1/2025 through 12/31/27, and further to authorize Claire Corcoran, Vice President of the Board of County Commissioners, or in absence, any member of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the 3 Anthem summary of benefits documents in compliance with the terms and conditions of the agreement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Painter, just a reminder, we do have item number 13 to consider.
Yes, that is
I'll
correct.
have, Ms. Levesey come up and present the item.
Item number 13 was looked over on our agenda in the meeting, and that was a resolution about the Clermont County Animal Shelter.
There had to be a correction made. I believe the correction was, it's in the original motion, it said 8 months. We changed that to 12. Is that correct?
12.
Okay.
That was an old document.
So if
Angie,
you'll read the
you wanna read
corrected
that?
motion.
Item 13 is the recommendation to adopt resolution number 12724, hereby temporarily lowering the county-imposed dog adoption fees for dogs adopted on October 9th, 2024 through October 31st, 2024 for dogs aged 12 months and older to help alleviate the unusually high number of dogs being cared for, fed, and housed pursuant to Section 955 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Board, you've heard the reading of the recommendation to adopt resolution number 127.24, which was our item number 13. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. That completes our non-consent agenda and the add-ons. Any other additions, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hearing none. I would move to county elected officials discussion. Any county elected officials here today want to address the board?
None today, sir.
Okay. Then member comments. Board member comments? None?
Member comments?
None?
I'll just bring up again, we talked last week about looking at outsourcing possibly the animal shelter, just so that everyone knows. We did discuss it, and Brian Shrive, our prosecuting attorney, was here. So the statement that was made, yes, I did make that statement last week, just to be clear. And Commissioner Painter, you responded afterwards also. I thought very lengthy.
We talked about it right here in open session, and we've heard the people that obviously have a concern with that, and we have never not been open to that. I would give you a little history on that. When I first became a commissioner here in 2017, we had a humane society that actually managed the shelter. And Tom, if I remember, Eva was who ran that contract for us when I first came in.
Yeah, I believe they were Clermont to the Rescue Humane Society.
Yep, Clermont to the Rescue Humane Society. And we rebid that contract. They did a fine job. We had some particular reasons to put that contract out for bid. The second contractor that came in was CARES, and CARES did a good job. You know, that that ran for quite some time. We were unable to negotiate a contract with them. And so, we defaulted to taking it over ourselves, and so we've had it ever since then. So that's why we're always open to that. Tom, I would ask, since two commissioners have looked into that possibility, I would ask that you proceed, take a look at that possibility and to see what on an RFP process we could find as far as people who have those qualifications that could bid a contract. Obviously, there'd have to be a request put together, and there'd have to be some specifications and some business documents that we would want to see to be able to do that. But we're open to that if there's a humane society that wanted to look into running the shelter. So, okay. Obviously, keep in mind those kind of contracts are placed on a competitive basis. You can't sole source in that contract is a difficult thing to do. So what we would hope is if we go forward in that direction, you would have at least two bidders. We would like to see more than two. So that would help us out a bunch too. So, and with that, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you for sticking with us. It was
You bet.
lengthy.